All right, welcome to minicast number 2. I'm your host, Vince Jeffs, coming to you again from my home office in Atlanta. And it's another beautiful day here. Seems like we've got 2 more months of summer than we should have, but I'm not complaining. Thanks for joining me. It's going to be a short segment, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and we're going to continue to talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence in marketing and in customer experience management. So, in our first discussion, we talked a little bit about just the different kinds of machine learning classes of technology there are, from things like classic statistics, decision trees, and logistic regression to things like deep learning. So what I'd like to do today is go into a little more on how this stuff is applied in marketing and in customer relationship management. And what we see is that there have been some good applications of this in marketing for quite some time now. It just wasn't called machine learning back in the day. But there really are two main places that it's used, and that is in what I would call marketing tactics execution, getting better and smarter with that, and also marketing planning. So those are the two kind of main categories that I'll talk about. And then we'll also talk a little bit about sales and sales activities and how machine learning and artificial intelligence is used to improve sales automation. And then lastly, I'll touch a little bit on customer service. And of course, all these areas are really converging now around providing better customer experience. But we'll look at specifically some areas in customer service that artificial intelligence is impacting. So again, let's start with marketing and marketing tactics execution. Things like segmentation, clustering, to understand customers and groups that they fit into for better targeting has been used for years. Another area that has gotten more popularity recently because it's very effective is what I'll call next best approaches. So you'll hear about next best offer, next best promotion, next best action. These are all techniques that are looking at in real time when a customer is conversing with you in a channel, what is the best thing that you can do to keep that conversation going or to sell them something that is absolutely relevant and appropriate for them at that moment. This can also be next best content to present or to try to get somebody to be engaged with or download. And also the best content to use and create in combination with an offer or promotion to entice them again to click on that item or to get further interested in reading that particular piece that you're promoting. These can also, remember, be applicable across not only your own media, but also across earned channels like social and things that you're posting in Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And also what that you're putting in bylines or in publications, so what we sometimes call earned media. Another set of optimizations that machine learning and artificial intelligence can help marketers with are things like the right time and the right channel. So we've heard this mantra of right thing, right time, right product, right channel, right customer for years and years. But in reality, there are some optimization techniques that are very useful now for things like send time optimization. So figuring out when is the best time to send an email, most likely somebody will read and be interested in and open. Also, when is the best time to post something on a social channel? So send time optimization is very applicable, and machine learning can help with narrowing in on the best time. We're also seeing things like next best channel, and again, figuring out the optimal channel that a customer is most interested in engaging with you. That would be the place to produce your content next. The other big area is in marketing is predicting customer behavior and value. So again, years and years we've been doing things like customer value management or lifetime value models. But we're getting better at that because the technology, again, is getting better at forecasting revenue associated with a customer, and using that in our marketing to figure out, again, how to make treatments most relevant and applicable to that customer based on their exact value to you as a firm. So it's a balance there where you're going to provide a better promotion and incentive to that customer if you know that they'll be more valuable to you over the long run. We're also seeing more in the way of dynamic price optimization. So changing prices. Amazon does an amazing job of this. Airlines have done this for years. Hotels do this. But again, technology is enabling us to get more dynamic and more granular with what prices we're offering in real time. In planning, marketing has called this marketing resource management or marketing operations planning. And there's many areas that artificial intelligence and machine learning is helping with, such as being able to effectively organize and retrieve your content for marketing programs, cataloging that content, content generation. So now we're seeing machine learning and deep learning actually being able to generate content, generate subject lines for emails, and this sort of thing. Also now looking at trending items and trending content topics is very interesting to marketers because now we can pick up on opportunities and exploit them more quickly. Budget allocation and media planning, of course, is another area. So again, maybe later we'll get into this a little bit more, but I wanted to at least touch on those categories. In sales automation, there's things like next best lead. So where is my bang for the buck in terms of where I should spend my time to get the most sales likelihood that I'll close something. I want to understand the best lead and the best contacts within an organization. What is the best activity with that lead that I can take to, again, nurture that lead and move them along the sales funnel? Also in sales demand forecasting. So obviously very critical to understand what is the likelihood of my pipeline growing, where is it going to grow, how am I going to progress it, and where do I need to fill more pipeline? So that understanding that demand and that flow through the pipeline, very critical to sales leaders and salespeople. Another area, competitive intelligence. So machine learning can play a role in helping you understand your competitors better, who they are, what they're doing, glean insights, and produce those to your sales organization. We can dive a little deeper into what actually artificial intelligence can do in that regard, but it's certainly an important area. And the last thing I want to touch on today is customer service. So again, as I say, marketing and sales and service are doing a better job working together. And service is very interested in things like better customer experience. So they want to be able to have these next best approaches also. What is the next best service or support activity or action I can take to more quickly resolve a complaint or a service problem that's ensuing with a customer? What is the next best agent that I can point a customer to automatically, maybe through an IVR? So I'm collecting information and I'm automatically routing those customers to the right agents so that, again, we can more quickly resolve problems and improve customer experience. How can I, again, support my organization in closing that case faster by getting things like uploaded images of maybe problems that the consumer is having, and how can I, again, quickly classify those for the internal organization to act on it, the problem? That's a really interesting area that, again, we can touch on a little bit more. And again, in that same area, just tagging and classifying things is something machine learning and deep learning is very good at. Estimating wait times so that consumers have a good understanding of how long they'll wait in a queue, and predicting service behavior. Models to predict customer satisfaction are really interesting. How do I predict churn and likelihood? Very important to know that when I'm talking with a customer so that I can, try to avoid that at all costs. models to predict whether a customer will ever call into support and how I can deflect that. So, and again, trending topics in support. So these are some of the areas I think that are really interesting in customer relationship management, customer experience. We sort of touched on them. Those are just the areas that I've sort of organized it into. What I'd like to do now is in our next segment, I'll dive more into specific use cases in those areas and even get into particular industries that are employing those use cases, so you can use that information to understand if you're doing that in your job or with your brand. Okay, so until next time, again, Vince Jeffs from Atlanta. Thank you very much for joining.